which might be affected by this postal vote fiasco,
What a
Luciana.
mess this is.
Do we know, just explain to our viewers, which party might benefit if postal votes are not arriving in time?
I think it affects all parties. I think it affects, most importantly, the general public who are going to be able to exercise their votes. For people that perhaps have already gone on holiday, they didn't arrive, they don't...
Big issue in Scotland, schools are shut already.
Absolutely. I mean, we've heard from some Conservative candidates today that they've heard it on the doorstep first, so very, very tricky. It's disproportionately impacting on constituencies in England, quite a large number there, and some specific councils in London as well have said where it's an issue. But even if people are not away on holiday, haven't received the postal ballot, request another one, they've still then got to take it on election day to guarantee that their vote is counted to a polling station. And we hear today that in order to do so, people have to present either their national insurance number or their passport. Now, not everyone in this country has a passport. If people aren't in work for whatever reason, they might have had national insurance number, they might not be able to find it. There's additional challenges at this time, also at this first election that we've ever had, where people have to go and present this ID. So I think lots of challenges for everyone, not just with this postal vote ballot issue, but people that are going to show up to vote won't have the necessary identification.
I just read a letter on the letter page of the Daily Telegraph, Kwasi, where it said, another sign that nothing works in this country. Broken Britain.
Well, look, I mean, I think lots of things...
Fair?
I don't think it's particularly fair on this issue because, you know, you can't blame the government for how the post office works. I mean, it's a company that with its own structures, and it should have responded to this. In terms of what Luciana was saying, I think it will affect the Conservative vote. I mean, I've stood in 5 general elections, and it was always understood that our vote was a slightly older vote, and generally was more reliant on postal votes. I remember standing in Brent East, and Ken Livingstone, no less, who had been MP there, said, your postal vote, you know, the postal votes are quite strong, your vote might hold up. So there was a connection in his mind between postal votes and Conservative votes. So, but regardless of that, I think this is a real scandal.
So do I.
Because many people use postal votes because they've got mobility issues. There are instances I knew in my constituency where younger people who were looking after older people had postal votes because they couldn't leave them and go to the polling station. There are lots of reasons why people have postal votes. And I think it's a real scandal that they haven't been able to get those votes in on time.
Who's going to be held responsible? Because there could be thousands of people on Thursday saying, this is not fair, I can't go and vote. Who do they complain to?
I think, firstly, it's a Royal Mail issue. And I know now that everything that goes wrong, we blame the government immediately. That's a sort of natural knee-jerk reaction. But I think there are issues operationally with the Royal Mail, who've known, as you said, for 6 weeks, that there was going to be a general election.